All right, so Numbers chapter 25, beloved. Numbers chapter 25. And like always, if you have something, please bring it out. I'm not bringing out my things here. I don't think anyway. All right, Numbers chapter 25.
And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bow down to their gods.
So, Israel, once again, beloved, we do good and we do wrong. All right. So Israel abode in Shittim and people begin to commit whoredom. All right. Matter of fact, Brother Kai, can you find the
Hmm.
in Exodus where they made the golden calf, rose up and played, if you can
Uh,
find that for me.
yeah, I got you.
So, beloved, we look at this. Israel abode in Shittim and began to commit whoredom with what? The daughters of Moab. All right. They committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Let's talk of Israel. All right. But listen to that verse 2 to give you insight. And they called, that's how they commit that whoredom. They called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods. All right. So this is the whoredom we were doing, we were committing. We were what? Sacrificing unto their gods. Okay. And we see the punctuation, right? Colon, what that mean? Usually what's stated afterwards is reflecting what was said before. How did we sacrifice to their gods? And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. Okay. So that's how we submitted to God. This is how we was playing the harlot. All right. Or whoredom. All right. Because we were, right, betrothed to one God.
Uh-huh.
Right. And Paul makes this point as well. He talking about, I want to, present you. Matter of fact, I'll find that. Right. He said, I have a mission to present you a certain way. Okay. So we have to understand as a nation, we are married to what we call, right? It was the Hebrew tongue, right? Yahweh, right? We are married to Lord, the one true God, the only God. All right. So real quick, I'm going to 2 Corinthians 11. And Brother Kai, when you find it, let me know.
Yeah,
And I'll go to that afterwards.
that's Exodus 32.
Okay. So this 2 Corinthians 11, real quick. Would to God ye could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. Listen, for I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to how many husbands?
One.
Husband. Why did I espouse you to one husband? That I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. All right. He didn't want us espouse all these different gods, all these different religions, and then present you to Christ. Because what? It's like you're playing a harlot. Okay. He only wanted to give us this God. When we are doing things, beloved, there's something we have to realize. You do not have to study other people, other religions' gods. All right. Well, you got to understand my book and my God before you just say it's stupid. No, you do not. I don't have to understand the Egyptology and all their gods. I don't understand the Greeks and their gods. He ain't never tell you have to study them. You have to know them. Some brothers, right, have certain missions that they go into those things so they can sometimes get some of our people, even sometimes out of those things. All right. But that is not something that the masses need to know and need to study. There's a lot of strong people that dived into some of these things and got caught up and messed up. All right. Our job is to present you as a chaste version. All right. Christ. That's our job. Okay. So we do not want you laying a harlot. All right. Dealing with all the other gods, sacrifice to them. The same thing happened in Numbers, right? Bowing down to other gods. No. Okay. Just one God we try to present you to. All right. And you said Exodus chapter 32. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Exodus 32. I know we don't think this is the only time we done acted up, right? All right, so it's Exodus 32. Let's start from verse 1. We got time. Let's start from verse 1.
Mhm. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
So when Moses was up in the mountain and he was up there for an extended period of time, they got weary. All right. And they said, man, we don't know what this Moses is doing. So what happened? They said, man, make us gods. All right. This man that brought it, they acknowledge it. Whereas this Moses, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we would not what is become of him. But they missed a valuable thing, even in this statement, beloved. Right? It was the Most High God that brought us out. Sometimes we'll get caught up. Sometimes you'll see over and over. Sometimes people get caught up in the leader and think this is all about them. They did it, right? No, it's the Most High. Moses was just an instrument. Okay, but let's keep going. To make us gods to go before us, all right, that we can worship before us. All right, verse 2.
Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me.
All right, this is where some people get the doctrine of you can't have earrings and stuff like this because that, beloved, that's where a lot of gold was. Remember, they spoiled the Egyptians, stuff like that, saying, well, y'all want me to make you gods. I need something to make them, right? A lot of times they made gods out of what? Gold and things like that, right? So he's saying, bring me these things so we can make it. Okay. Is it something we're supposed to do? Absolutely not. Okay. But let's keep going.
And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a golden calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
See how quick it is? We knew better. We know Moses was the one that delivered us out there, but now we done made this calf. We literally plucked the gold out of our ears and all these things and made this calf and said, what? This. Let's look at it. These be thy gods, O Israel. Now we say, you know what? This is going to be our God. This is who we're going to marry. This is who brought us out the land of Egypt. This is who made us free. Right? Think of how crazy that is. That they got their mind to know there was no gods. We just literally put our gold together and made these gods, and now they get the credit. And if we're not careful, do the same thing today. A lot of times it's probably not making the gold and everything, but it's in other slick ways. Okay? So please, 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 beloved, realize we got to be wise in this word of God. All right. We should know better. All right. Definitely that comes out of idolatry worship. All right. We should know better. Definitely with the manifested way like this. Okay. But let's keep going.
And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahweh.
All right. So he's saying he built an altar. Listen to what Aaron said. And said, tomorrow is the feast of Yahweh. What Yahweh? What is he referring to? What are you talking about? Read verse 6.
And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play.
So they started what? Offering and worshiping, doing these things to these false gods.
Mm-hmm.
And they named them what? They said tomorrow's the feast of who?
Yahweh.
Oh, they claim they use the same thing. The same thing you want to see today, beloved. They'll use the name saying they worshiping God, but no, a lot of them worshiping this image that they created. All right. And this is where we have to be so particular because the masses they'll go for a false God. The masses going right for it. No kids are probably looking like that brought us out. You just created this yesterday. How is this a God? How is it? the adults done. Went back to their roots. To think that the Most High trying to deliver us from that idolatry. Most High trying to deliver us from it, but guess what? Still was a part of us. We still was gravitating to it. All right. Let's keep going. I think I need one or two more.
And yeah, and Yahweh said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest up out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves.
All right. So you tell Moses, get down. Remember Moses and the Mount, that get down, right? For thy people, it's your people, right? They corrupted themselves. Okay. And read verse 8.
They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto it, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
And that's why it's a little more to do with some ignorance. They what? They made it, they worshiped it, and what? Sacrificed to it. All right. And then made proclamation that what? This is our God now. Okay. So it's very important. You have to be mindful what you worship, what you're sacrificing to, and your proclamations that you're making. Okay? Because this is what? This angered the Most High God. Okay? This angered the Most High God. And this ain't long, beloved. Remember, we just leaving Egypt. Ain't like it's, hundreds of years. This is all in a 40-year span. This happened. They get in trouble and they right back to it again. Okay? So once again, our people are hard-headed people, and we gravitate to these false gods. We gravitate to a lot of things. You'll see our people in everything. All right? Things that's even set up to be against us will gravitate to it. Right? Egyptians was our first mass slave master, right? Had the whole people. What do you see our people doing? They want to be Egyptians, right? The Greeks, we was abolished the Greeks. What do you see our people pledging allegiance to when they go to these fraternities and everything? It's Greeks. Okay? So we have to refrain ourselves. We have to get a new mind, beloved. We have to focus and stay to what the Most High said and stop gravitating to everything. Our people are so broken, we want to be a part of something just to feel value. Okay? You already were born into something that has the greatest value, but you have to understand that. All right? If you don't understand that, you don't learn about it, then it's easily be deceived by the world. And they're going to make you what they want to make you and use you. All right? All right. Let's go out of this. Let's go back to Numbers. Let's go back to Numbers. So once again, they committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. All right. So yeah, listen, I'm saying they committed whoredoms spiritually, right? With the, dealing with the idolatry and stuff like that. But literally they were sleeping with them. Okay. And what happens when a man he gives it to virgins and everything, right? He starts sleeping with the women, start falling in love, and he starts to what? One of the big things, he starts to compromise. Weak man will compromise himself for that thing. Okay? So even if he knows it's wrong, I want to make her happy because she's making me feel happy. All right? But it's going to cost. It's going to come with a cost. All right? So they sacrificed the gods, and they did eat and bow down to their gods. All right? So they are now submitting and pledging allegiance to these gods, these false gods. All right? Let's see what's going to happen. We're going to have verse 3. Let's start. Verse 3.
And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, Take all the heads of the people, and hang them up before Yahweh against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel.
It's that loving God we dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with this, they joined them. All right. It doesn't matter because people think they can play both sides. No, the Most High is if you ain't just all about me, then you ain't with me. Soon as you start committing to those other gods, you not. Mm-mm. All right. So he said, no, you join yourself to them. You can't join yourself to both, beloved. All right. You got to make a decision. So he said, when you join, Israel join himself unto Baal Peor. Okay. And this made the Most High angry. And listen to what he said. Take all the heads of the people. Right? There's certain things that he's merciful and everything. That's what he said. Take their heads off and hang them up before Yahweh against the sun. Here go these sun worshipers and stuff trying to say, no with that, beloved. All right. So face it toward the sun that the what? The fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. Now, hopefully we caught the mercy in it. All right. Sometimes we go too far. But beloved, if the Most High wrath is on somebody, they went too far. You better make a decision to show that separation. This was the mercy he put there, even though he was mad. He ain't wipe out all of Israel. Oops, sorry about that. Right? He said what? That the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. So he still put what? He had a contingency plan. I'm not wiping them out. I'm not wiping them all out. But however, I will. But see the love he had for Israel, he said, you know what? Do this, and this will keep my anger away. So think about how controlled anger has to be. They put like God, that God, the Old Testament, he just get angry and just do all that. Nah, he wasn't reckless like that. All right. Because he wouldn't even made this and thought about it. He thinks about it all the time. All right. But he said, do this, and this will stay my anger. Okay, so yes, the Most High does display or manifest his anger in certain ways, beloved. All right, sometimes it can be the earthquake, sometimes it can be the storms and the winds and the tornadoes and famine and all. He has a lot of ways he can display his anger. Okay, but he also has certain ways that we can avoid that as well. All right, you left off at we read 4, 5. No, you read 3, 4. Okay, 5 and 6 now.
Yep. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
All right, very important. So this is why we're reading certain things. Sometimes the Bible just say something, and then you have to read to kind of get the details. Because if you just read up here, it's like, man, he was just killing Israel. He was just killing all of them, right? No.
Nope.
Verse 5 got specific. And Moses said unto judges of Israel, all right. So we know that it wasn't all the leadership, right? Moses had some of the leaders that said what? Slay ye every one of his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. No, this is your responsibility, judges. You gonna go out there and slay them. Showing also that what? Some of them knew what they were doing. Don't think just because you might not have did it, you might not have slept with that daughter of Moab, but you knew your brother was and you knew what he was doing, right? So guess what? You weren't brave enough sometimes to stop them for what they're doing, but you're gonna have the responsibility of killing them now. And if not, you're going to be responsible for what? The wrath of the Lord. Y'all see how this will be? It puts you in a tight spot. It's better just to do it right from the beginning. But think about this now. All right. But he said, listen, slay them. Everybody that was joined to Baal Peor, kill them. All right. Remember, our protection is in the Most High God. But if you want to deal with other gods, you deal with those consequences that come with it. Right? You decide to be an enemy of the Lord. So deal with the consequences of being an enemy of the Lord. Okay? But at verse 6, one of the children of Israel came, listen, and brought his brethren All right. He brought his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses. All right. So they already wipe people out and stuff like that, right? And this brother going to bring a woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were what? Israel was weeping at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. All right. This is where you'll go, get that mercy and stuff like that. We see that correlation now, right? We know we can cry to the Most High and do those things even at our home in different places, right? The temple or the place of worship, it's for that as well. It was designed for that as well. Okay. But let's see what happens. All right. This Midianite woman is brought forth there just like with everybody else. So you see all this crying Israel, you got all these Israelites crying, and he brings this Midianite woman. All right. Verse 7 and 8.
And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
All right. Something to realize. All right. So Phineas, keep in mind, and when Phineas, all right, the son of Eleazar, all right, this was a priest of the priesthood, the son of Aaron. So this is specific, giving you the lineage, all right. Aaron was the Mary Pop, then the Eleazar, then Phineas, all right. He saw this. He saw that brother bringing this woman and said what? He rose up from the congregation. He was there. He got up out that congregation, took his stuff for javelin. This is the priest, beloved. This is the precious priest we talking about, right? Took that javelin and stuck him and the woman through. All right. But it said what? You think, man, is he moving out of anger? It says what? The plague was stayed. Why would him killing this man and woman plague the state? Stay the plague. Because he did something, whether he knew it at that time, the spirit might went over him and he just, can't believe you're gonna do this. Most High talking about we doing this and we, mess with these women and now offering and dealing with their gods, and you're gonna bring one to the temple. So you see that righteous, rage or jealousy, however it was, right, stirred up in him, and he went and did that. Okay. And it what? But it appeased the Most High. Right? And we're going to see a little bit why it appeased the Most High. Okay. Yes, that was his brother. But at that time, his brother chose not to be his brother. And beloved, when people choose not to be your brothers and sisters, they fall into the way of the Lord. Sometimes these things happen. All right. This is why we try to compel our brothers and sisters and stuff to get into this. All right. But we're not going to let a plague overrun the congregation because you got one or two that want to act up. All right. And be willingly disobedient. Okay. But let's keep going. Let's see how many people were killed in this plague.
And those that died in the plague were 24,000.
Y'all understand that, beloved? I want y'all to think about that. 24,000. It would be big news if 30 people died right now in a certain area. If it was 50, tragedy. 100, think about 5,000 people dying in there. You know how big news that would be? That plague took out 24,000 people, beloved. I don't think we had to really imagine that. 24,000 people. Most High don't play. And we think we can play around. Think we special. Most High will wipe us out and keep going. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed them not, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy.
You all see that piece? He turned away the wrath, but listen how the explanation is. While he was zealous for my sake. This was not a fleshly thing. This wasn't, oh, I see that guy. I already don't like brother so and so. So this is a good opportunity to kill him. No. At that moment, he was so much in the spirit, so zealous in the spirit of the Lord that he did what? The brother thing wasn't a big thing for him. He seen you are an enemy of our God at that moment. And that's the zeal he had. And this is why I say, beloved, people getting all caught up on, well, I'm Israelite. That's fine to understand that. But don't people want to stay there. That don't stop from destruction. You have to be obedient. You got to do the things of God. All right. So with this, we see this brother what was zealous for the Most High sake. That what? Listen what he's doing. That I consume not the children of Israel my jealousy. Now, how many people will go against their brothers, sisters, cousins, and things of that nature to save the rest of the congregation? Or will we justify somebody letting the devil use them at the risk of harming the flock? You see it all the time. Ministers allow their little friends or whatever, little people that they know is perpetrators, and they will let them be, all amongst the flock, unchecked there, all amongst the flock. That ain't the spirit of God. That is not a true shepherd. Right? But this brother did the right thing. All right. But listen to verse 12. Listen to verse 12 and 13. We have verse 12, Brother Kai. Get there.
Phinehas, or Slaki, wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and made an atonement for the children of Israel.
So you see, he got something special, beloved. He got a covenant of peace. We ain't never say it's one covenant, right? There's covenants in the Bible. There's different covenants, right? This was a covenant of peace. And what the covenant of peace entail? He shall have it in his seed after him. We talk about this generational wealth, right? We talk about breaking the family curses, all these kind of things, which are good, which are great. But a lot of us need to do these things. We want to pass down this covenant of peace to our children and the grandchildren, things of that nature. Right? If the change don't happen here, it don't matter how much you do. Evil child can updo what you did 30, 40, 50 years of your life to try to build up. They can wipe it out. Because sometimes we're so focused on that and not focused on training up a child in the right way. All right? But we want to pass down that. Okay? Generational blessings. All right? Generational knowledge. We want to give our children and the next generation all these things. All right? But it says what? And the seed after him, even the covenant of a what? Everlasting priesthood. So he gave him the everlasting priesthood. Because of what? Because he was zealous for his God. Now, brothers, it says we got to ask ourselves, are we zealous for our God? All right. I didn't do my 10-minute lesson in a while. I have the children home from the summer and everything. But one of the things I was going to have on there, right, is really reflecting, right? Are we doing enough? Right? Will the Most High be pleased with our walk? We can think about that. If it's no problem, what can I do for him to be pleased? We can think about that. All right. If we believe the Most High is pleased with our walk, how can I do more? What can I do more? All right. So this brother, because he was zealous for his God, received this covenant of peace. But beloved, and then say he's the only one that's going to receive this covenant of peace, right? We can receive the same thing. And we have, we understand it through Christ. But we got to be what? Zealous for our God. All right. But not just zeal as I'm willing, right? That's part of it. But it has to be for our what? Our God. That part requires what? Knowledge. Because Paul do talk about zeal. He said they have the zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. We, beloved, want to have the zeal of God, but according to knowledge. Sometimes in these churches, we've seen growing up, and forefathers, all this kind of stuff, and foremothers, how they was at the church, and doing. Sometimes they'll be there 4 or 5 days out the week. They either doing Bible classes, or they doing they doing their little sales. They doing all these things, right? They were zealous. Some of them just didn't have what? The knowledge. Okay, but beloved, don't say we was all zealous in the church before, but now since we got knowledge, we'll take away our zeal. We're not going to do the same things. Okay? Don't let knowledge be the excuse to not be zealous for the Lord. All right? We can be zealous like we were, and now that we got knowledge, we just add to that zeal. Okay? That's it. When you come to church, you're like, well, I'm just gonna be lazy. As long as I just I'm just so focused on make sure I do the commands, and I'm not doing nothing else. I want to be extra. I want to, do the things of outreach and things that I used to do, right? No, you can do all those things. Now you can do it properly. That's why the Most High added the knowledge to you. Now when you're praying, you can pray properly. All right? Because you can be zealous and praying and fasting, but you didn't know how to do it properly. And so you get frustrated at the Lord. Right? And you get mad at everybody else. You get mad at his ministers and all that kind of stuff. But you got to look at what? The manual. You ain't doing it right. You buy a product from a store, beloved, and then you don't do it according to the instructions and wondering why it ain't functioning like that. What do you think when you call the company, what they gonna say? You can't do it the way you want to do it. You got to do it like this to get the performance like this. So you put gas in, don't you be just put water in there thinking it's no. So when we looking at these scriptures, we are trying to figure out, right? Or not figure out, trying to understand and know what our God requires. We want to do things properly. We don't, as Paul's saying, just want to run, right? We don't even know where we're running. We just running. Saying, hopefully I run into it. Hopefully I get there. No. We are taking the time to study. So every step is going towards the right direction. Tell you all the time, I don't care if you're going 100 miles per hour and the other person going 2 miles per hour. If the person going 2 miles per hour is going towards the finish line, it's better and it's perfect according to what? This person going 100 miles per hour the wrong way. And this is what we try to say, where you need to go the right way. If you was going 100 miles per hour the wrong way, that's fine. Once you get the knowledge, now you're going 100 miles per hour the right way. But beloved, if you're going 2 miles per hour, you feel like I'm going, at that time, beloved, it's better to go 2 miles per hour the right direction. All right. Sometimes we think we didn't get far, beloved. Stay. You keep walking. Think about somebody walking every day. How you don't realize you going pretty far. All right. Don't look at nobody else. Don't compare to nobody else. You're walking the right way. And that's what you want. The direction got to be right. Okay? Going 100 miles per hour the wrong way ain't going to do it, beloved. Okay? So because we want to be zealous for our God as well, all right, we can receive that covenant. Okay? That what? He'll be our God. We'll be his people. All right. So we have to enter into a covenant as well. Anybody that's serving the Lord, you have to enter into covenant. Okay. That part's going to be a decision. You can be born in Israel, whatever, right? But to enter into the covenant, that's a decision everybody must make. Okay. So because he was zealous for his God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Wait up. How did he make an atonement? Okay. We have that coming up in a few months, right? But atonement, you always, get the animal and stuff like that. You get some people say you can't. Only atonements can be animals. You got Christ. This is why this Christian stuff, this Christ stuff is all a mess. You need to take away the New Testament because God ain't use. He don't atone with no person. It says he what? He made an atonement for the children of Israel. The only thing we got that he did was what? He ain't killed no animal. He what? He killed somebody. And the Most High count that what? As an atonement. Because the atonement is dealing with the what? Let me see if I can find it real quick. What is the atonement dealing with? I don't remember where the verse is exactly. I think it's number. Is it? Okay.
Isn't it the atonement is dealing with the forgiveness of our sins throughout that year?
Yes, you're dealing with that, yes. But what is so the atonement also is what? Why did Christ how can I get this away? So why did we kill the animals? How would we naturally did it in the old covenant, right? When we killed the animals, right? That was an atonement. And then we got Christ as the atonement. What point makes it an atonement? What was
the sacrifice?
Yes, the sacrifice. And what needed to happen for that sacrifice? I'm trying to say it without saying the word. What's important for you sacrifice?
Blood. Blood.
Yes. Right? Needed blood. So when he stabbed them with the javelin, what was that blood, beloved? Also, blood was coming out. All right. And we sung it even at Passover, right? No, it was the blood for me, right? We needed that blood. That's why he had to send Christ and what? He put him in a flesh suit. He had to have a body like ours. If he sent them like an angel, could have stabbed him up and all that stuff, what happened? Nothing would have happened, right? We wouldn't have been atoned for. But he had to get, that's why he said, I prepared a body for him. Because he still had to what? Connect the dots. While we was doing the old covenant, it was setting us up for what? Christ. So the blood, all right? The blood is also the what? The life, all right? The life of it, okay? So with Christ, remember, we eat the bread and what do? What else we do? The bread is his flesh, and then what else we have with the bread?
The grape juice.
The grape juice or the wine. And what did that represent?
The blood.
There we go. See how you put it together? He said, eat my flesh and drink my blood. He said, drink ye all of it. All right. He's not just saying this to be, to promote cannibalism or anything like that. No, this is all symbolic stuff that we need to understand. We are consuming him. All right. Now they say you are what you eat and things of that nature, right? That's why we consume Christ. All right. So what? We can get the same mind that was found in him in us. Okay. That same blood, we always, the blood of Christ and all that stuff and everything. Guess what? That same blood is supposed to be what? In us. All right. That's entering, when we're doing that, that's entering into the covenant. We're entering into that covenant. Okay. Just like they what? In Numbers, what they do? And they call the people unto the sacrifice of their gods. They sacrifice to their gods. And what? The people did eat and bow down. They just taking the same thing, but they just doing it in the falsehood. All right. We go and we what? We sacrifice. Who sacrifice? Christ, that sacrifice for us. All right. And we eat and drink. All right. We enter into that covenant. They're just entering into it with Bel Peor. But when we do it, we have to understand that we're entering into a covenant with our God. Okay. Let's go to real quick. We're on Leviticus chapter 17. Leviticus 17. And we are going to go to verse 11. Leviticus 17 and verse 11.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
The what?
The blood.
Makes the what?
Atonement.
Right? So he was establishing this principle here. This is what we talk about. People want to throw away the laws and stuff like that. It's knowledge. So you know what you're doing. Okay. Now we know, we always know that what? That the blood is the atonement. For what? Our souls. So if we went off, okay. This is why he talk about, there was things against, we did things and, it was against us, right? You read those certain passages, right? And people don't understand what he's trying to say. Christ get to wipe that away. How he do? He died and gave his life. Now that blood can what? Purge away our sins. The what? The blood maketh an atonement. That's how we got atonement for our sins through the sacrifice of his son. So in the Old Testament, we were doing it with the animals. That was a shadow, okay, of what? The true sacrifice, which will be through his son. All right. I'm not going to dive into all that because I'm going to save some of that for the atonement lesson. Okay. But that's very, very important to know. Okay. So we're not just doing some, careless act. This is something that means a lot to the Most High, and this understanding is for his people. All right. Trying to think of what. Matter of fact, let's go to one more spot. Let's go to Romans. It's in Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5 and verse 8. Then we're going to go back. I ain't giving you all the verses now. All right. Romans chapter 5, and we're going to start at verse 8.
For God commendeth his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.
All right. So while we were yet sinners, while we was in our trespasses, all right, what did he do? It says Christ died for us in that state. Verse 9.
Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him.
So we have to get justified. So, beloved, I want you to understand, when you're just wiping things out, it don't exist. That ain't true justification, right? He's justified. We did the offense. Now, how do I make it just? Okay. He's saying this was the love that God commended toward us. He what? He created a justification. By what? By his blood. All right. By whose blood? Christ's blood. That what? We shall be saved from what? Wrath through him. That's the blotting out. Those things that would be against us, he blotted out. How did he do it? He did it through his what? Through the death of his son by the what? His blood. So the blood is how you are saved. The blood keeps back the plague. All right. So he created this contingency plan way back before we ever thought about him. The Most High already had this plan in order. He already loved us. Okay. All right, read verse 10.
For if, when we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
Let's reconcile as well. All right. So we could not get connected to God because there was a separation because of our sins. But he brought his son to die, and through that blood atone for the things we have done. And now we can what? Be reconciled back to the Father. All right. This thing, my price and everything, this is a love story, if you can understand it. Okay. But let's go back to Numbers. Not done with the love story today. All right. But all this thing is a love story, beloved. How God loved us. All right. Not how we loved him. We can read through here and see how much we always, love them for a season, then we hate them, then we right. But he always loved us. Okay. All right. Back to Numbers 25 and covenant. And also you enter into a covenant. What do you need to enter into a covenant, beloved? You just need blood. All right. So you see how that opened that door for his covenant as well. All right. So it's a lot of little things you can see now, beloved. All right. So you need that sacrifice. He's still showing it. You can't enter into it without what? Blood. So for us to enter into the covenant, we need what? The blood of Christ. Okay. So you see, he was showing this already in the Old Testament. Okay. This is our knowledge. This is our foundation. Okay. So when we see Christ and all these things happening, we should already know, oh, that's what he was setting up. That's what he was trying to show us. All right. That's what the schoolmaster was doing, teaching us. Okay. Let's keep going. Verse 14. Almost done.
Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimri, the son of Saul, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cusbai, the daughter of Zur. He was head over a people and of a chief house in Midian.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Yeah.
just emphasis, but also very important to know, this wasn't just no regular woman as well. This woman was a daughter of a prince. All right, he was somebody, and this would have been a bad president to set up as well, right? You getting intertangled with the higher ups, all right? So that could really, really mess us up as well, all right? And we're going to see later on. I won't even dive into it today, but you're going to see certain things other things that Most High have done when we dealt with them as well, all right? These Midianites, okay? But go ahead, brother. You can finish it up.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Vex the Midianites, and smite them, for they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cusba, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake.
Mhm. So, beloved, even though a lot of us got killed, we did get killed in this matter, right? For just cause, because we were guilty. He still didn't forget what they did, though, because they still, caused it. So he said, I'm still going to get them for what they did. Okay, so he didn't. It might sound like a setup, but beloved, even we get caught up, we do certain things and everything, and he still get that nation that did because you still touch my anointed. See how he still ain't like I had to wipe him out and everything, but I'm still gonna make you pay because you still touch my anointed. Okay, so we'll see some of that. Like I said, couple chapters you're gonna see some details of it. So I'm not gonna dive into it today. Um, but these are little things we need to learn. Because you're gonna have some slicksters come in there and try to, pollute, the things of God and how we do things and saying, is God fair or just, or he's just a killer? You're gonna have all these people kind of saying it. You don't have to entertain it, beloved. I realize that you don't have to entertain certain things. All right. To be a follower of God, you don't have to argue with people all day and stuff like that. If y'all don't have to do that. There's plenty of lost sheep. There's plenty of people out here that just want to hear the truth. All right. You don't have to go and battle everybody. All right. So make sure that we are letting our light shine. Okay. Make sure that we are being sweet, we're being kind, the things that we can definitely control. Love it. Make sure we put our focus into that. But as our brother did here, all right, Phineas did here, we want to be zealous for God. All right. We want him to brag about us. We want him to bless us and give us those generational blessings because we were zealous for him. And being zealous for him, sometimes we're going to lose out on certain things. If you want to, it ain't really a loss, but sometimes in our flesh, we might think we lost certain things, right? Family can be affected. Friends can be affected, Certain outings there's a lot of things that can be affected, but guess what? If you're doing it to be zealous for the Lord, it's going to be much gain that you receive. Okay. So believe that. All right. You have to know that because remember, faith, you have to have that faith. If not, you're going to see this all the way wrong. All right. Be zealous for the Lord. Okay. This is about discipline. And I think about discipline, it ain't always connected to how you feel. Motivation is connected to how you feel. But discipline, I gotta do it. I know it's what I'm supposed to do. I gotta do it. Right? And that's how we got to approach this thing. People don't like that. People want the feeling. They chase after the feeling. Beloved, we're chasing after discipline. Okay? The spirit that we receive is discipline. You're not gonna always feel like reading, you ain't gonna feel like singing, you ain't gonna feel like doing these things all the time, right? But that's where discipline kicks in. All right. And when you're doing the right thing, beloved, you just to have that's the assurance you got to have within yourself. Right? Some people, like I said, we seeking that feeling. And well, I'm serving God. I don't feel all this other stuff that all the people said it. Nah, it's that contentment in doing the things of God and being obedient. That's where the feeling comes from. I know I'm doing what the Most High told me to do. That becomes that shield for you, that protector for you. Don't chase after always that good feeling. Okay. All right. Anybody got anything they want to add before we close out? All right. If not, all right. For those that are watching through YouTube, we're going to close out for y'all and say shalom or shalom or shalom, which means peace, and then yada habatham, which means love you all. Truly do.